Hey everybody, I am here with an interview with a classic Dota player at this time, Mr. Stormstormer from AVULUS. How do you say this team's name?
AVULUS.
AVULUS.
Yeah, it's new.
All right, where'd this come from? How did you put this team together? What's the deal?
I mean, to be honest, the team existed before me. It was actually called Team T, and then the sponsor AVULUS came to it and picked the team up. And well, the team existed before me. They played with Mikey, who was known from Nigma before.
Yes.
But at some point, they parted ways with Mikey, and then they asked me to stand in for, well, the qualifiers for this exact event that we're on right now. And that's how I got in here.
So are you on the team now? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I am on the team.
I did not realize I was a sponsor. I do apologize for whatever you guys make or do. My apologies there. So what do you think about this team? You've been on a lot of teams in your history. You've seen a lot of, gelled with a lot of guys. Most prominently, many know you from Entity, but what do you think about your squad? Tell me a little bit about these boys.
Yeah, I mean, so far, like, I really only have good impressions. Like, honestly, like, Eki has been a guy I've been following for a long time. Like, he has been on my pubs, he's been ranked 10, like, this random +4 player who just talks all the time. And, like, I was like, where the hell did this guy come from? And why was he a coach on Secrets? Like, I was generally so confused that, like, a high-ranked guy was coach first. And, yeah, he was always an exciting player to play with. And then, of course, Soneko, a well-known name. I don't have to say much about that. I didn't know much about him before, but really, like, I could see that he's like a very driven captain and like very invested in the game for sure. And yeah, the other two, so Xive and Sveina, I did not know so well yet, but they are really like super nice and humble people. Really nice just to be with them and also hang out outside of Dota. So far super good. And Sveina especially, like he, in the beginning when we played these qualifiers for this tournament, I'm gonna be honest, like I did not expect us to like, fully win it. I was like, let's give it a try, because I'm just standing in. We didn't have any practice coming into it, We played 1 week of scrims and we suddenly won it against Secret, OG and MOUZ Esports.
Yeah.
So he really impressed me on those qualifiers as well. Like all in all, everybody's like super nice and chill to be around.
Good. Sounds like you're pretty happy over here then,
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
All right, well, fantastic. Now, I did want to talk to you a little bit about Soneko and you. You're a big ideas guy. You come up with ideas on your teams from what I've heard of. You are a leader in your own right. Now, he's leading this one. What's that dynamic like? Are you guys kind of sharing ideas or talking to each other, or are you now just backseating and you get to be a nice employee?
It has been true that in Entity I've been more of a leader, but it's mainly because also I just adapted to my teammates. I mean, I'm an open person in general, but in Entity also people were a little bit more reserved. It was mainly like Fishman who was communicative, but the other teammates were a little bit like, like reactive when it comes to things. So they just really it fit in really, really well. But I actually do not mind like sitting back a little bit and let others do that job as well. So I actually, I kind of like it. Because mid lane is also a role where you get really rewarded if you just focus on what you're doing, right? Like, I mean, I'm playing like all these matches where I can invest 100% of my energy into, and if I don't have to invest it into like all the outside kind of stuff, I kind of like it. So far it has been working quite well. And there have not been like really any conflicts. If there's something that he likes to mention, he does it. If there's something I like to mention, I do it. And like, we just go hand in hand so far.
I gotta say, I'm really loving your energy, man. You seem genuinely chill on this team.
Yeah, no, so far everything is chill. I'm just looking forward to being back in the scene again. Like it's been a long time for me looking for a team. It was not easy to find a new one, and this happened out of nowhere. And I'm just glad to have like a new team backing me up. I consider ourselves underdogs. I'm not like I'm not gonna be like, oh, we're a tier 1 team immediately. Like if I look at this tournament, like there's some other favorites, but it's nice to be just back on a LAN again.
That's good. I mean, you need your chill though for mid. There's a lot of mids now. Would you say that mid is one of the most competitive roles out there right now, or do you think a different role?
You mean as in there's like a lot of mid laners in general?
Yeah, just like skill-wise of like the rock stars on the team.
For sure. But I mean, it's always been like that, I think. I mean, mid was always like a star role when you look at names like at Miracle or Thompson or whatever. Like they have been big names always on Nisha now. But what I also think is that supports get to shine these days a lot more than the past. I think mid is still very competitive, but I like it that like if there's a shining +4 or +5, they can really like shake the game as well. So I think everybody has to be really good at their roles these days.
Yeah, well, it used to be until they nerfed arcane boots.
Now,
now it's over.
The supports are shit now.
Supports are back.
Thanks for the patch, Valve. Thank you.
I mean, but a lot of people, in all seriousness, have been saying that the mid role has gotten a little bit less from being like the tempo controller of the team and more to like, this guy just needs to do well and kind of exist. Do you believe that? Do you feel like mid's prominence in the game has decrease a little bit, or you still feel like it's really important?
I think it depends on the team style. For example, I think like tempo control, like just shaking the map and stuff, like in some teams it's still very, very popular. I think some really fast-paced teams, like for example Gaming Gladiators and something, they thrive of it if there's like fast tempo coming.
Sure.
But there's also just some mid laners who, for example, I consider myself that, who focus more on their own scaling and being stable all the time in the game. So honestly, I think what the patch right here gives you a lot of like variety. What you in the end need is like a team that plays the way you want to play, like that adapts. You know, like there's mid laners who will gank your lane minute 5, and there's mid laners who like me are AFK bots and just hit jungle creeps for a while, you know. So yeah, as long as I think you communicate with your team what vision you have of playing the game, I think then everything can work.
Fantastic. All right. Well, one of the best things that I like about you is in your wins, you're humble, you're happy. Also in your losses, though, they don't seem to really destroy you that much. You know, it's like a learning opportunity for you from what I've seen before. First, you agree with that statement, or is that all right?
I mean, I think every sportsman honestly would be like, it's hard to say that losses don't touch you. I just lost 2 scrims and I was like, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we threw those games, I did feel bad. But like, yeah, I understand that, like, as long as I believe in my team and I think it has a future, that's what like keeps the drive going. And that's like, hey, we can improve on this. I only start getting frustrated and I feel like, okay, we've hit like a plateau. We cannot keep going. Like, we're kind of hitting a wall. We have to change something, you know? But after like small mistakes and everything, if the big picture is filling, then usually, yeah, I'm a guy who's like looking at that mostly.
Well, we are so blessed to have you back again, and I, for one, am super excited to see how this new squad treats you. I'm sure it's going to be good. The vibes are good here, so we will find out very shortly. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Mr. Stormstormer, for coming in once again. Can't wait to see how the boys do, and we will see a lot more from them coming up soon. So, back to you.